Black history! Yes! Black history! Grabbed by my whisper. My whisper won the last.
Welcome, punters, to another episode of the Whispers Racing Podcast. As always, I'm joined by Maddie for the 12th of August. How are we, Maddie?
Going well, Worm. How are you, mate?
Good. I didn't know what to call this race weekend. A bit of benchmark racing at the Valley or the monorail weekend.
The monorail stakes, yes.
Obviously, attention does go to Sydney for the Rosebud. Their big group racing up there.
Absolutely. Some list of racing and a bit of group racing. So, look, I mean, it's that time of year where we're just starting to get a few of these horses that we're going to be talking about in some of these bigger races come back, and this weekend is no exception.
Yeah, there's some big hot jump outs in Sydney tomorrow, so I'll be keen to be on Twitter looking for those replays at around 9 o'clock.
Kind of leakers out there.
Yeah, that'll be good. Hopefully it puts in a performance so it backs up my futures ticket. I think Nature Strip's going around, Zaki.
Yes.
All the big boys and girls, so it would be that'll start getting me bloody excited.
Absolutely. And I would imagine we'll see him in probably, 2-3 weeks' time.
Yeah, 100%. And we'll probably say goodbye to our missus for the next 8 weeks and go to the races most Saturdays. So that'll be good. This episode, we will be previewing the Valley Race 4, Rosehill Race 9, bets around the grounds, multi, pineapple of the week. Maddie hands it over.
Unfortunately, yes.
Or just the circumstances of a backmarker, unfortunately.
Yeah, Wave Rider Boy just gave Petulant a little bit too much of a head start. Still a good run, but unfortunately, with the back markers, it's sometimes what happens. They just don't get there, and Wave Rider Boy wasn't able to get it done on this occasion.
Yep, and you read it pretty well in the community saying this is the horse's only danger, and it lobbed. It was a good week for the podcast. We cleaned up, I think. You had a winner or two, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think we may have just missed the multi though, because I may have put something in there that came third. I put in for a place, but they only paid top two divs.
And remember, I'll bring it to our pre-production. I said, Matty, there's only 7 in it. So top 2. You don't think it runs third? Nah, top 2. So all right, good. I couldn't stop laughing. It was one of those days, and hey, we saluted 3 out of 4. We're good for 3 out of 4. So
absolutely, it was a good weekend.
If you can pick the 3 that we pick out of the 4, you clean up. But yeah, it was a good weekend. Plenty of winners, so hopefully you filled your pockets up. And thank you for everyone that reached out with that. We'll probably go into subscribing to our YouTube and podcast. If you're a first-time watcher or listener, please subscribe to YouTube or any podcast platform. If you are listening via Spotify, please rate us. We'd love to get our rating up. Everything we do for free, no paywalls. Everything we do is for the love of it. So as a reward, please just rate our podcast. That's all we ask for. And tip you plenty of winners. And more importantly, you can interact with us if you want. You can join our WhatsApp group via WhatsApp, of course, or DM one of us on YouTube, DM through socials. We'll put you straight through. You can email me at samkennedy14@gmail.com. And we've had a good start to the month of WhatsApp. So dogs are slowly heating up.
I was about to say that our resident specialist dish liquor is back in town and was very productive over the week, which was good to see. So some of those midweek little tipping exercises, just sitting on the couch at 8 o'clock at night, worked extremely, extremely well. So thank you to that member of the community.
Yeah, I was very happy when I started seeing that name lob up. He must have had a European summer vacation.
I think so.
No, it was good. It's get a part of it. We're up for the month as well. Found a winner today at Bendigo that I was very keen on at the Valley. So thanks to one of the people in the community that put his bet up, and I'm like, oh shit, it's running. So we had a nice collect there for a Thursday, which is rare. for Thursday betting. Talking points this week, Matty. I sent you a photo
Yes, you
of
did.
the Victorian Horse of the Year. Now they've named the finalists, and I think the award is Saturday night, maybe. I
Okay.
could be wrong. So the finalists are Alligator Blood, 3 Group 1s, the Underwood Champions Mile Futurity, Gold Trip, Melbourne Cup, and second in a Caulfield Cup. Animo, Might and Power, and the Cox Plate. In secret, 2 Group 1s, Newmarket in the Coolmore, and Mr. Brightside. Well, he won the All-Star Mile, so they've got to chuck him in because it's their little race. Who do you think wins it, Matty?
Look, you can make a case for Gold Trip. I was on it for the Melbourne Cup, so I can definitely see it winning now. If it won a Caulfield Cup plus also the Melbourne Cup, I could see it winning, probably not just the Melbourne Cup standalone. In secret, Newmarket and also the Coolmore has to be a chance. Clearly the best sprinter that we had down here across this period. Mr. Brightside, I wouldn't have thought so. Alligator Blood, wow, extremely impressive. But I can't go past Animo.
Yeah,
I think Animo just with the Cox Plate win, plus also the Might and Power, and you also, I'm sure it comes into consideration how he raced up in Sydney as well. I know this is Victorian only, but how he raced up there, then came down here and really did dominate. I think Animo is going to be exceptionally tough to beat.
Yep. I'm going to go Alligator Blood just because it's won 3 Group 1s and the owner's probably going to sue Racing Victoria because they didn't win it. So we've got to take that into consideration that the owner's quite powerful. But I think Alligator Blood not deserves to win it, but that's just my pick. The Underwood, massive win. Champions Mile, massive win. Futurity, a massive win. He's a dead set warhorse. But yeah, the obvious choice and the favourite, probably $1.10, is Animo, the Might and Power Cox Plate. Huge. Yeah, it's Victorian racing. But yeah, Gold Trip, if it win the Caulfield Cup, I reckon that would have been the deserved winner.
100%, I agree with that.
But yeah, that's just a little talking point. We'll move to the futures ticket. Now, Matty, you can kick things off. The Cox Plate.
All right, mate.
What are we doing?
Look, I told you earlier today, I've spent way too much time looking at the Cox Plate since the 178 nominations came through. And I know there's 178 because I've gone through each individual horse since they got nominated on Tuesday.
Yep.
But, mate, I've put together my own little field. Now, there's a capacity of 14 horses for the Cox Plate. Generally, they race between 12 and 14. So I'll put together my field of 14 horses. And we'll keep an eye on this. This obviously won't be the starting 14. Be very surprised if it was. But, mate, my starting point for this was last year's runners. Last year's runners that have nominated Azaki, Alligator Blood, Brightside, Moonga, Gold Trip, and El Bodagol. Now, I'm going to have to say that name a fair few times tonight, unfortunately. From that field, I think the 6 that have nominated, there's probably 4 or 5. They're going to be an automatic start. Now, Zaki, Alligator Blood, and Mr. Brightside, I think they will all run. Debatable about Moonga and Gold Trip and El Bodagong. It will need to do something in order to be able to qualify for the race. It ran 3rd last year. And it ran quite well. Since then, done absolutely nothing. So Chris Waller and his team are going to need to do something in order for this horse to be able to qualify. But I think you can probably safely say that there's going to be 4 horses from last year that will be running. So that's 4 of the 14 slots. Well, from there, I've gone with Think It Over. Not think about it, think it over. 2,000 metre horse. Now, perfect for the Cox Plate. Again, it's going to need to qualify for the race, but there's going to be quite a few in the same boat. Without a fight, Anthony and Sam Friedman. Now, this could potentially go to a Caulfield Cup. It ran in the Melbourne Cup last year and came 8th. So I think without a fight, look, a Cox Plate I think would quite suit it. Romantic Warrior, the Hong Kong superstar, I've got it in the field. I think it's quite set. Light inventory, the Kieran Ma, Dave Eustace import. I've got it, plus also one of their others, New Energy, in the field. Paddington, now, whether it comes out or not, I think there's still a fair chance it'll come out. So I do have Paddington in the field, but again, we might be substituting out Paddington for another international horse because we understand that the Moonee Valley Race Club, they do want these internationals in here to give it a bit of flavour. Pericles, I think, mate, James Cummings' only nomination for the race.
No.
Is there anyone else? Is there anyone else that James Cummings should have nominated?
You're taking the piss, yeah?
Only horse that's been
No.
nominated from the Cummings stable.
You-
Is there anyone else that should have been nominated?
You're telling me Cascadian's not nommed?
Not nommed. So I've got Pericles in there. Lindemann. Chris Waller has come out and said that this is my weight for age horse. Now, again, Lindemann will need to do something in order to actually get into the field. Legato from New Zealand. And, mate, I've got one from the 3-year-old camp. And that's Molly Knickers at the moment.
Oh,
Now,
geez.
we'll keep an eye on these 3-year-olds. I think you could easily have something like Stapati or Militarize in there. You could easily make a case for those, but we'll see how these 3-year-olds progress. But I would be very surprised if there isn't a 3-year-old running around in the Cox Plate. It does just add that different element with that 49.5 kilo weight. So that's my field of 14 for the time being.
Mm-hmm.
Of the field of 14, I'm pretty confident that 6 of those will be running. So I think there's only about 8 spots left up for grabs. But of those 8 spots, you're going to need to see horses have a couple of lead-up wins in order to actually qualify for this Cox Plate.
Yeah. Are you having a bet?
I am having a bet.
Oh, yes. Right. Now we're talking.
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
From the Chris Wallace stable, his weight for age horse Lindemann.
Wow.
On Betfair at the moment is at $80.
Wow.
I'll be putting Lindemann in there. We'll put $12.50 of the $100 on.
Okay.
For a return of $1,000.
Wow.
So, as we said, Lindemann will need to do something in order to get a start in this race. I'm confident it'll be able to win 1 or 2 races in the lead up to the Cox Plate in order to qualify. So, I know Lindemann's already had a trial.
Yeah.
I expect to see it in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So you've probably got a few weeks before the odds could actually come back in. So you don't necessarily need to jump on this weekend and go all in on Lindemann. But at $81, I can't see you getting too much better than that. So Lindemann will be my first play.
Oh, geez. What race do you reckon it wins to get in? The Epsom?
A few options. They've got a few options along the way. You'll probably see it race across, whether it goes to 1,200 or maybe even starts at 1,400. But you'll see it 1,400, 1,600, 1,800 before it gets out to the Cox Plate distance.
It's a 4-year-old, isn't it?
It is.
You reckon the Golden Eagle doesn't?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And as I said, depending on how it progresses across its first couple of starts, I'd expect it to win one of its first 3. And then it probably needs to win a bigger race in order to qualify for the Cox Plate.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's the only problem with this stupid Golden Eagle race. You just don't know where they're going. Where 5 years ago, you just knew that they were coming straight to the Cox Plate.
Yeah, Chris Waller hasn't been hasn't really had too many weight for age horses.
No, correct.
So
Just
I
winks.
think maybe one.
I had to do it.
But of late, yeah, it hasn't been really featuring in the weight for age races. So I think him coming out and setting this horse as his weight for age horse for the next few years,
Mm-hmm.
it definitely shows where he would like to see it run.
Yep. So we've taken the 81s. What price do you expect it to start? Cox Plate Day, barrier 4, J-Mac on board.
J-Mac won't be on board because J-Mac will be on the Hong Kong superstar of Romantic Warrior.
I'm trying to talk it up and give all the punters. He's going to do the switch, I reckon.
All right. Well, as long as Kieran McAvoy's on, that's okay. I'll take Kieran. Now, if that is the case, I think you'll probably see around about $20.
And that's good because then you take the 81s, and if you got a high bankroll, you can lay it at 26s, and you got a profit straight up. But mate, 81s, I'm going to have something on it. I'm going to follow you in because I 100% agree. Like, this could be that 3-year-old that could go, yes, to a new level and takes us by a storm and could easily start $15 for a Cox Plate, but
absolutely, yeah,
could go the weaker option and go to the shitty Eagle.
absolutely. As I said, look, of the 14 slots,
yep,
you've probably got 8 of those up for grabs.
Yep, 100%. But we're
Lindemann
taking a
is definitely
price.
one of them.
We're taking a good price.
And that's what we'll be looking to do. That's what we'll be looking to do. Now, there might be one that we mention a little bit later on that I've got in my field as well that I did mention. But when we cover that horse off, we'll just let you know what price it's currently is on Betfair.
Yeah, good. Cascadian, I almost walked off the show, first walk off. I am ropeable, but I'm looking at stewards and it says suspension.
Oh.
So I don't know if it's been banned or it has a suspensory problem.
Dangerous tackle, maybe.
Yeah. So lucky I didn't walk off. I've done my research. I'm still livid that James Cummings has not done this, and I should be ringing the owner in Godolphin and just telling him, hey, you've got a Cox Plate winner ready to go, and something's going on. Like,
well, they may think they do have a Cox Plate winner in Pericles.
Well, funny you say that. It's a good segue, but we're not that far into the meeting and podcast yet. But anything else to add for the Cox Plate, mate?
Now we'll leave it there for now. As I said, look, we'll do a bit of a check. We've got 178 horses at the moment. I think across the next 4 weeks, that'll probably stay fairly consistent. And then after that, we'll see them drop away. So we'll start crossing a few out and tightening this field up from there. Worm, how did you see the Caulfield Cup at this stage?
I just wonder if you're having a bet next week and waiting for a horse to run this week to see if it's worthy of a ticket.
If that was the case, I think I'd be jumping on right now. I wouldn't wait.
That is a good point. So we're not going to tell you, punters. You can work that out later in the show or next week when Maddie has a 20 on it. Mines.
May even have one just before the jump and just let the community know.
Yes, I like it. Sucked in. My recap, I've spent 30 of my 100 last week. And again, I'm going to have another 15. Ooh. So it's going to take me to 45 of my 100. So I'm very close to tapping out here. So my recap, I've had 15 on breakup at 19s. The Corps have it at 18s. Kovalika, $10. I've had $10 on Kovalika at 21s. Now at the 26s, but the Corps have it at 17. So Luna Flare. This was the interesting one here. I've had $5 on it at 51s, out to 65s, but at one stage the Corps had it at $15 when noms were out. So someone's having money on. Breakup was still unknown what's happening. Kovalika probably pushing to the Caulfield Cup. I'm about 90% sure that happens. I think 26s on Betfair is a good price to get involved. And Luna Flare, the trainer got on and said there's 2 targets. Third up, it's going to be Caulfield Cup or Cox Plate. And I'm pretty certain they'll be going Caulfield Cup over a Cox Plate. So sitting nicely. I'm happy with those bets. No betting regrets at the moment. So with the noms coming out, I'm going to talk about the few internationals that I've dived into that just trying to get a feel if they're going to come out and the history of the owners and trainers here. So noms closed, Caulfield Cup, a few internationals coming out. Hoping they come because it adds a bit of class to the race. It's been quite weak of late. Incentivise was just a freak of a horse, so we don't really count that one. But yeah, last year was quite weak. Yeah, just look who won. That was enough to be said. But Duval Legend, I'm going to start off with it. We well known about this. This almost sent Bedar broke in the Melbourne Cup. Unfortunately, it didn't. $15. Owner wants the horse to go to Hong Kong for their December carnival because Hong Kong base. So trainer's quite keen to run it in the Caulfield Cup if the horse is going to the Hong Kong. Currently $15 with the corpse. I can't be diving in at the moment because I don't know if the horse has come back well enough. It was a bit weak first up, I thought. I know it was only first up, but I thought it would show something a little bit better. Melbourne Cup might have cooked it. So this is a hold at the moment because if there's any sign of it bringing its last year's form, $15 is going to be stupid price. But I just want to see a bit more out of this horse before I dive in. Izar, it's a $15 chance. It's ISRAR for anyone looking it up. It's had a good prep currently, 2 seconds and a win. I reckon this horse is a thinker and it waits for its rivals when it hits the front. Its action is beautiful to watch. Maybe blinkers might sharpen this horse up, but at $15, I'm going to hold it at the moment because trainer John Gosden and owner Shadwell Estate. So they're the Jern colours, the blue with the whites. They don't really bring any horses out. So I want to hold until I hear they confirm they're coming. But this horse is a very, very good horse. I love its action. If they teach it to go it goes past horses and it thinks about it. Its most recent win, I was really impressed by. $15. It's a hold because there's no confirmation of it coming yet. I just think corporates are keeping these internationals a lot safer because they got picked apart with one horse before. Velvet King or Valiant King, sorry, $15 as well. I only had a run a couple of starts ago. Oh, sorry. Had a start a couple of days ago. It finished second to the Melbourne Cup favourite, Vaban. Now, we know that horse is coming out from the Melbourne Cup favourite and probably wins a Melbourne Cup off these runs. Only went down by 1.5 lengths, handled itself quite well. Second over the Ascot Carnival in the King George, went well again. Trained by Joseph O'Brien. So key there, he brings out the right horses. Owned by Couture Racing, they'll probably bring it out too. So as I said, the trainer knows what horses to bring. Geez, I loved his most recent second. I just thought he was really good, running away from third. 2,400, I think, will suit this horse. I think, as I said, Corps are keeping him safe because they don't want to be sniped. This one horse is the interesting one for me. I will keep this horse safe and I will have a bet once I hear they're coming out. That is a Valiant King. But the one horse I'm keen to back now because the connections are keen on coming. So that's a good sign for me. It is, we're going to have $15 on West Wind Blows. Yes, it's the favorite. I know everyone's groaning, but it's about taking early prices and enjoying the ride. Has nom for the Caulfield Cup, pushed into the favorite once the markets reopened, was $26 with the Corpse, currently $16 with Betfair, and can understand its favorite now because it will start single figures come Caulfield Cup. July 8th, finished 6 lengths off Paddington. I know it was 6 lengths, and you could easily go, oh, geez. Who came out and won its next start. Second in that race was Emily Upjohn. I think that's an A grade European horse. And I thought it handled itself quite well in a 4-horse race. Yes, got beaten 6 lengths. It was third, but fourth here was Due by Honour. Now, we know what that horse did over the autumn against Animo. Absolutely spanked it. So I think we can start tying here. Then finished second over the Ascot Carnival. First was Pile Driver, another A-grade European. Fourth was Duval Legend. Form stacking right up here. And that's why I'm happy to have 15 on at $16. Corpse have it at $11. And yeah, I just think this starts easily around $4 come Caulfield Cup when it comes out. Matty.
Very good. So just to recap, Breakup, Kovalika, Lunar Flare, West Wind Blows.
Yep.
Okay.
45 of my 100. I'm hoping no one else confirms coming out because I'm sick of taking early prices. I want to see a couple of horses before I. But no, I had to take the price. The form stacks up with this horse. I was keen to go. I was keen to have a bit more, but I just want to wait till they come out first and just listen to those reports. The reporters that go out every day and say, "Nah, this horse is going well." Once I can start hearing that or market moves in the bookies, then we can start having a fair income crack.
Yep, you might have to go to the bank if you want to have a fair income crap because you've only got $55 left, but that's okay. I can see where you're going with this. These horses that you're fairly confident will begin to start.
Yep.
And we'll be starting much shorter than the prices you're getting them at the moment. So $100 and your minimum return so far is 210.
Yeah, and it's just to take a price. And the only one I'm just uncertain on is Breakup. Probably that's my only regret at the moment. But the other three, keen, happy to take the prices, and yeah, we go from there.
Very nice.
All right, track stats. Moonee Valley, rail true. Good track at the moment, but there's rain coming Saturday morning, early afternoon. I'm hoping they don't touch this track. Let it be a firm 2. Let the showers roll in Saturday morning. Track gets downgraded to a good 4 at worst. That is the perfect thing they should be doing, which might mean the rail might be a bit off late in the day because it'll be soft on foot, but it's definitely watching that, guys. How much rain we get in the morning, what the track's going to be. You can't be taking early prices at the moment until you find out. That's why I'm only previewing 1, and then we're moving up to Sydney. Sydney, I think it's going to play quite fair. I think it's rail 3 meters. All reports are it's going to be fair. So that's what we like to hear, and that's why I'm probably shifting to Sydney up with Matty, and we'll go from there. Yeah, so definitely Moonee Valley, just watching that, guys, you could really do some money. I did hear the track manager say on today, was it? I think the rail was 5 meters, and he said the track's quite good 5 meters out. But I don't want to be hearing that because if you're getting out to 5 meters and the rail's okay, the race is often gone when your horse is out to getting into the 5 meter lane. So I don't know if he's trying to throw people off or what, but watching that, guys, it's very, very important with the Valley. All right, race 4. I'm going to kick things off here. It is the benchmark 70 over 1,600 meters. The odds I've got favorite here is OK Cupid at around $4.60. Aspen, Colorado, $4.80. Master Chant, $5. Scatoon, $8.50. Oceana Blue, $8.50. Seb Song, $15. Crackerjack Prince, $15. You're going to have 23 plus the rest. Speed map here. I've got OK Cupid and Master's Chant to lead here. Diavel from barrier 11 might hunt across to find a spot. Scatoon should hunt up from barrier 1 and camp behind the leaders, but didn't go so well leading last start and faded late. So it'll be interesting. Will it just sit midfield? After that, it's quite a sticky map for the rest of them because they're all back markers. Oceana Blue might be the only one that rides it a bit upside down. Barrier 3 can really improve off this barrier. I know there's a few duck eggs on it, and I'll talk about it later. But yeah, if they roll forward, he might be the surprise factor. But moderate tempo, and yeah, just 2 leaders here. OK Cupid and Master Chant. I'm keen to be with OK Cupid here. Second up, it broke its maiden. SP $2.30. Then went to last start, benchmark 70 midweek and won again. I really liked its win. it's hard to win your maiden and then especially go to benchmark 70 your next start midweek and win. I think that its win was huge. That start told me that 1600 won't be an issue. Third horse has come out and won next start. Form stacking up well. Should find the front, which is going to be a huge tick. Waterhouse Child's team up with this combo. I just like the setup here. Ready to go. OK Cupid. I've got Aspen Colorado as the danger. If there's any sign of this horse pushing forward, it can definitely win. For some reason, they just like to ride this horse back, go through the gears every start. Form reads well, but I'm just worried the jockey engagement of Thomas Stockdale here. I feel they won't be rolling forward, but going on last start, he'll be running into your placings. That's Aspen Colorado. As I said, Oceana Blue, I thought this horse would be double figures when they opened up. Touch unlucky last start, has a good draw to use, and can be right up there and running. But they found it. It's at $8.50. Not a price I'll be taking, but can improve from a good draw. Master of Champ was good last start, leading all the way at sale and produced a good figure and can only improve second up. Will be interesting to see what Mark Zara does from the barrier here. Surely he leads, but you just don't know. Second up, they might be looking for a softer run with cover. Interesting runner, Master of Chant, but keen to be with OK Cupid. Matty.
Just one that I wanted to get your thoughts on. The horse jumping from barrier number 1, Scantoon.
Yeah.
Now, generally goes to the lead.
Yep.
At 850, Billy Egan on board.
Yep.
Bit of a 61 kilos is a bit of concern.
Yep.
But if we do find that the rail's the place to be, Billy Egan, I would imagine, will utilise that here in race number 4.
Yep.
Much of a concern here?
No, well, I had something on it last start because of its start previously. So
yep.
I don't know what happened. I was really confused with the run. It was going well, but just didn't let down. But Billy Egan goes around 18% at Moonee Valley. So he gets on board. Graham Begg's going well at 18% for his last 100 runners. So great combo for this horse. Yeah, I just don't know if they're going to want to be right up there after last start. I think they might just try and take some cover.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, look, that last start where it settled on a second, third in the race, it was an exceptionally fast run race. Like, they went stupid pace early. And I think just put all of those front runners out of that race. Now, in saying that, it's only had a very, very short backup since then.
Yeah.
And that's a big concern, having such a gut buster of a run over the first few sectionals and then backing up 4 days later.
Mm-hmm.
So, look, I think it's an interesting one, Scatoon. Graham Begg definitely knows what he's doing, and I can see why he had something on it when it was only 1.5 lengths behind St. Lawrence.
Yeah. Yeah, it can definitely win, and wouldn't surprise me if it turned its form around off that just disappointing run. But plus, if the rain arrives, barrier 1 might be not the place to be.
100%. Mate, I can definitely see how you've landed with OK Cupido. OK Cupid.
Just renaming them after famous footy players.
Solid footy player.
Solid. Still solid.
Barrier number 4, Jordan Giles on board. Yeah, he's going to get a very, very handy run from there.
Yeah. Yeah, just ticks every box in a very low rated benchmark 70, I think. Matty, you want to preview race 9 at Rosehill?
I do, mate. Most of these horses coming back, not too many of these are actually been running, other than the top weight you called it. And I'll mention that one when I do run through these horses. But Worm, have you got the odds there for us?
Yeah, I do. And the Tab handicap, and Tab are best prices throughout this whole market, so quite fitting. Pericles, $3.10. Colino, $4.80. Perfect Thought, $9.50. Banana Queen, $10. You called it $10, and then you can have $13 Madame Pomery, and then $14 plus the rest.
Beautiful. Thank you, Worm. Mission Phoenix, I think, from barrier number 2 is going to be the lead. I think you'll find horses like Glinter Silver, Bullfinch, and potentially you called it, come across. Most of these horses across this distance, or we'll just try and find a spot. There's not too much more to it, so I don't necessarily think there's going to be a gutbuster speed on up in front. The few horses I want to talk about here, you called it. Now, this horse has been up and about for a while. Won its last 2 starts. Amy McLucas on board, getting the claim down to 59 kilos here. 1,400 metres is its distance, where a lot of these other horses will be looking for further. So it's the fit horse in the field. At $10, look, I can definitely make a case for this. You could almost make it your top-rated horse within the field, and with a rating of 105. Look, as long as Amy McLucas does something and finds some cover from barrier number 15, you can't knock it. So if people do like it, have been on it the last couple of starts, I can definitely see how they could be on board here. A couple of ones at odds. Political Debate. Kathy O'Hara on board for Chris Waller. Now, this is one I can certainly entertain, but you're going to need to forget its last preparation. It didn't come on for the Golden Eagle, but prior to that was very, very competitive. And at $23, this is a horse that I can see hasn't run for a long time, since the 24th of September last year. So I think this is a horse that can definitely improve and is over the odds. From the John Sargent stable, Perfect Thought. Now, this horse last start was second to Kovalika, a horse that you've got for the Caulfield Cup. And I tell you what, it had a beat, except for the last 50 metres. If it puts a run anywhere near that in, it's going to be exceptionally hard to beat. And you'll find it around that $9, $10 at the moment. So Perfect Thought, I think, is definitely one that you could be playing within this field. On top, I did have the favourite, Pericles. Now, it has won first up. It'll be looking for further distance, around about that 2,000 metres. And as I mentioned earlier, I think it's a strong chance to be running in a Cox Plate this year. James Cummings' only nomination for the Cox Plate. In a field here, look, I think it'll probably get back from barrier number 10. So, look, J-Mac's going to need to ride for a little bit of luck, which is a bit of a risk. But just remember, this horse almost got the better of Osipenko last preparation. Hit the front with 200 metres to go, and Osipenko just ran over the top of it. So you're looking at a couple of class horses here in Perfect Thought, Pericles, and I think Political Debate has a bit of class about it as well. So for me, those are the 3 that I'll be playing. I do have Pericles on top, from Perfect Thought and Political Debate. And for those who are a You Called It fan, I can't knock that whatsoever. It's been running exceptionally well. William, how did you see this?
You read it quite well. We've pretty much aligned. I thought Perfect Thought jumped out well. You got to forgive last prep. First up, heavy track. Second up, one under a length behind Kovalika. Reads perfect, barrier 5. If they want to use it, it can sit right behind those leaders and 3 back. No worse. Very keen to take on Colino, though. Bad barrier. Beat a horse in much, much better who went okay in the Ori Star. It's going to have to be a Brett Preble special from 14 at $4.80. I think if you do like it, wait, because it'll go out. And if they firm for it, well, I'm pushing the pink button because I'm going to take this on. But I'm keen to be with Pericles here. What do they do from 10, Matty? Do they go back or do they roll forward and sit 3 wide?
Yeah, they might not. J-Mac won't roll all the way back. I think from barrier number 10, you got a lot of these horses that are just midfield horses. I don't think you're going to find a whole lot of pace in the field. There's probably a clear 4 horses that'll go forward, and then from there, they're just going to need to find a slot. So it's going to very much depend on how he jumps and what the horses around him do.
Yep. It'd be interesting to see where they land because, I don't know what they do with this market. I think it's well found with 2 good jump outs.
Yep.
Most recent one was very nice.
Yeah.
But I just don't know what they come for because I think they don't do that with Polino. Maybe Perfect Thought, but only a couple of points, but nothing too dramatic.
I'm very glad you raised Colino because I did bypass that very, very quickly. To your point, if you like it, don't even wait, just don't back it. It's not going to win this race.
Nah, I'm with you. I don't think it does either, mate.
It's not going to win this race.
Yeah.
This is against quality horses.
Yep.
It's been running very well,
Yep.
but not here. And to your point, it could almost be the bet of the race laying this horse.
Yep, 100%, mate. Especially if they come for it, but I don't think they do. I'll be, not worried at all if they do because I'll just put more on to lay it. So
That is great.
Well said, mate. Around the grounds while you're on a roll, you might as well keep rolling.
All right, mate. We're going to head up to Eagle Farm to kick us off. The last of the day, Esky. Now, this horse took a long, long time to secure his maiden win. Last start, it probably should have won. It ran home exceptionally well. Just couldn't get it done over the last 50 metres. And I'm expecting it'll go exceptionally close here. So Esky from an inside gate. I'm hoping they're a little bit more positive on it. And if they are, I see this horse being very hard to beat in race number 9 up at Eagle Farm. Then we're going to head back to Rosehill and go to the other end of the card, race number 1. Cabalus. Cabalus, really good 2-year-old form, and expecting it to come back and be even better 3-year-old here. So I think it is rather short. I think you're finding around about that 240 at the moment. I wouldn't want it too much shorter than that. But Cabalus, I think, will be exceptionally hard to beat in the first at Rosehill.
Mate, that second one, that beat Shaken. That was being tipped for all the big 3-year-old races. So, 245, that looks a bet.
No, I think it'll run very, very well, Cabalus.
Yeah, I like it, mate. You talked me into one. That's good. I like it. Around the grounds, I'm going to go to Sydney here. I'm going to have 2 in Sydney. Sydney, race 5, number 2, Extremely Lucky. 2 good trials for this. 12 months ago, I was on this horse at Moonee Valley, went under on a heavy track, and then ran last in the Moya from a bad barrier, went near to last. So, total forgive. Now transferred from the Clarkin Yard to the Waller Yard. If there's any Waller polish on this, it will be winning first up. Loved its 2 trials in Sydney. Can't wait to see this horse, this prep, because I think it can win a Group 1. Note, McDonald has his name on 2 horses in this race here for Alentia, who I give a huge rap for and was backing it for a 3-year-old Magic Millions, but didn't go. But I feel he will sit with Extremely Lucky because this horse will take him deep into a prep. And I just think he's a very good horse in the making around the 250 mark. I think it is. So that's race 5, number 2, Extremely Lucky. And Matty previewed it, Sydney race 9, number 2, Pericles, 2 jump outs. Most recent one was impressive. How could he not be on this? I'll be back in this, but I'm just going to chip down a touch because I think barrier 10, I don't know where they go from the barrier. Matty thinks not too far back. If I find out they do that, I'm going to chip up then. But I just want to find out tactics for this horse because I'm worried if it just gets that too far back, it won't be fit enough to be overrunning a couple of these. But there are big grand finals for this horse later in the prep. So just be wary, but it definitely can be winning.
Well, and just quickly, we did mention that we would let the punters know Pericles is nominated for a Cox Plate. I've got it in my field at the moment. What is it paying on Betfair?
120s.
Okay.
Are you going to have something now?
As I said, I'll let the community know if I do.
I'm trying to talk you into one here.
I'll burn through my 100 like you will.
I need someone to come with me.
They're
yeah.
the type of horses that you should be backing at those type of prices if there's a chance that they're going to get a start. Because come Cox Plate Day, I'd love to be at the Valley having a ticket holding Pericles at 120s.
Fuck, we'll be walking around like peacocks, that's for sure. Say it wins by 2, race 9. What do you reckon it's into? 40s?
Oh, well, again, that's on Betfair. On Tab at the moment, it's 51, so I think it'll come into about 36s.
Why would you be betting with Tab when you can get 120s at the moment? Unbelievable. Anyone, just jump on Betfair, guys. It's, unbelievable, their prices. We're not sponsored by them by any way, but for futures tickets, I like to use Betfair because they are just ridiculous prices. And it's not their prices, it's other punters' prices. So
that's right. What people are happy to put up.
Yeah, bloody oath, and that's why it's so good. Multi, Matty, what are you chucking in?
We'll throw in the 2 from around the grounds, Esky and Cabalus, both the place.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm going to chuck in Extremely Lucky to win because I reckon they might scratch or lent here, or it goes back and Extremely Lucky just wins. And Pericles the place just to be soft. So that's Sydney race 1, Calablas the place. Sydney race 5, Extremely Lucky the wins. Sydney race 9, Pericles the place. And Eagle Farm race 9, Esky the place comes to $9. Lock us in for 3. Pineapple. I'm going to steer clear of Moonee Valley. I want to see what the track's doing first. So I'm going to go up to Sydney. I was tossing up between Extremely Lucky, Pericles, Cabalus very late. Was a late nomination that you would have seen me looking hard at the screen because I was like, oh, that might have just tickled me over the line. But we're going to go Sydney, race 8, number 2, Tis Invincible. This horse was backed off the map first start at Canberra. I reckon everyone received the text message that we got as well. MD gave it an absolute stinker. Yes, it was a wide barrier, but geez, he just got it completely wrong. Go and watch it. Oh, it still hurts a few punters, I reckon. Second up, finished second, and it wasn't in the A ground, so forgive that. I reckon it's just a prep we forget about, but good learning for it. 2 trials back for this. The most recent tells me it's come back well, and it's ready to go. J Mac on board. Barrier 1 might need some luck and a gap, but I do think this horse will be winning. The instructor will be leading this race, and we are barrier 1, so we just have to follow instructor. Wait for about the 200-meter mark when the gap peels open, and at 200 meters, we just wave goodbye to our competitors and we win. That's race 8, number 2. Tis Invincible, Matty.
Beautiful, mate. A little bit of love for J-Mac this weekend.
Oh, yes. I've just had a little chat to him during the week and just said, all right, this is where the big boys just come out to play and you just say, hey, I'm king of the castle. And, he's got to pay for his kid now, so he's got a lot more to ride for, as we know. So, a lot of pressure on J-Mac. Could be coming on next week and absolutely tear him a new one with 3 poor rides, or I'll be singing his praises saying he's the king.
Well, very unlikely J-Mac will be going throughout the day without a win.
He probably rides 5 for the day and the 3 losses are mine. Thanks, J-Mac. But no, confident on J-Mac, confident on what we've produced tonight. Any last thoughts, Matty?
No, mate. Really looking forward to Sydney.
Yeah.
And looking forward to tomorrow and just seeing a couple of these trials.
Yep. For the first time, I'm going to anchor around Sydney and not as much as Melbourne. But thank you for joining again, Matty. We'll be back next week for... Geez, I think it's good racing, though. I think it's one of the better ones. I can't even think of it. That's how well I'm going at the moment. It's shot me and it's thrown me. But thank you for everyone that's watched and listened. Hopefully you fill your pockets up. More importantly, we hope we fill your pockets up. Connect to our socials. We're all over it. Anyone that's on TikTok, please get involved. It's quite interesting. I got bagged last week, Matty. One guy said, good start. Race 1 flopped. And what do you reckon happened in the next two?
Didn't hear boo from him.
No, I responded in tongue in cheek. Tongue in cheek. I didn't mind it. It was good. It was good banter. But no, thank you for everyone that gets involved there. This podcast will be up there. Our tip sheet will be up there. So yeah, get involved, punters. More importantly, have a great weekend, and we'll see you next weekend.
I'm not a good person, but it just goes to show that good things do happen to bad people. So anyone out there who's up against the wall, fucking stick to it. Every cent you got, your rent, your electricity bill, if you're going to buy your missus a ring, don't fucking do it. Keep punting. Keep fucking punting.